It's the sound that gets you first. Or rather, the lack of it. Imagine a team of sled dogs, the lifeblood of the Arctic, starved to death, yet utterly silent. This was the first chilling clue that greeted fur trapper Joe LaBelle in November 1930 at Lake Anjikuni. He expected a warm welcome from the Inuit village, but found only a silence so profound it felt like the world was holding its breath. The dogs, frozen solid, mouths open in a final silent plea, were a ghastly sight. These animals were more than pets. They were essential for survival. To find them left to starve was unthinkable, a violation of every custom and instinct. What could compel an entire community to abandon their most valuable companions? LaBelle, his breath crystallizing in the air, stood before this macabre display, knowing this was no ordinary departure. The silent, frozen dogs were the first horrifying piece of a puzzle that would only grow stranger. The mystery of Lake Anjikuni begins not with a shout, but with a terrifying, unnatural quiet. Before we even get to the missing people, we have to contend with this fundamental act of abandonment. To understand what happened at Lake Anjikuni, you have to understand where it is. This is the heart of the Canadian Barren Lands, in what is now Nunavut, a vast, unforgiving expanse of rock, ice, and sky. The village was a small community of Inuit fishermen and hunters, their lives dictated by the seasons and the movement of caribou. This wasn't just isolation, it was a world apart, connected to the outside only by arduous trails and the occasional Mountie patrol. The villagers were masters of survival, their knowledge passed down through generations. At night, families gathered in huts, sharing stories against the howl of the Arctic wind. This was a community that relied on each other for everything. The landscape itself is a character. Endless white, broken by jagged rock, temperatures plunging to unimaginable lows. Their disappearance isn't just the story of missing people. It's the erasure of a way of life. When LaBelle arrived, he was utterly alone with his discovery, standing on the edge of the known world. The setting isn't just a backdrop. It's the prison that holds the secret. Before the silence, there was life, families, hunters, storytellers. The last reports described a thriving community, preparing for winter in good spirits. There was no sign of distress, no hint of impending doom. Their sudden absence leaves a hole not just in the snow, but in the fabric of humanity. Imagine a pot of caribou stew left frozen over a dead hearth, a child's boots by the door, a half-mended net waiting for hands that would never return. These aren't just objects, they are the last echoes of life, reminders of moments brutally interrupted. The emotional weight is immense. Was there a sudden panic? A call to gather? Or did they simply walk away, leaving everything behind? The evidence suggests a departure both orderly and chaotic. They left behind their food, tools, and shelter, yet vanished without a trace. It's as if the very soul of the village was plucked from the earth, leaving only a hollow shell. The last echoes are faint, but they tell a story of a vibrant community silenced in an instant. The heartbreak of Anjikuni is in these small, abandoned details. When Joe LaBelle entered the village, the scene grew even stranger. The huts and tents stood silent, their flaps flapping in the wind. A fire pit showed signs of a recent large fire, but the embers were long cold. Inside, everything was in its place, yet utterly devoid of life. Meals were left frozen, kayaks pulled up but not stored, repairs left unfinished, food, clothing, tools, all left behind. These were people who knew survival depended on these items, yet they vanished without them. There were no signs of struggle, no overturned objects, no bloodstains. It wasn't a raid or an attack. The village hadn't been destroyed, it had been emptied. Rifles, essential for hunting and protection, were found propped up against the walls. In the Arctic, no hunter would willingly part with their rifle. This detail alone screamed that whatever happened was not a planned migration. The entire population, around 30 men, women, and children, was gone. Not a single soul remained. The cold welcome had turned into a chilling enigma. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police launched an investigation, but what they found only deepened the mystery. The village was abandoned, food and supplies untouched, sled dogs starved. The most unsettling discovery: the village graveyard. The cairns marking the graves had been carefully unstacked, the graves empty. The bodies of the ancestors were gone. Why would anyone desecrate their own sacred burial ground? The careful way the stones were moved ruled out animals. This was deliberate. The Mounties found no tracks leading away from the village. It was as if the entire population had been lifted straight up into the sky. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no explanation. The anatomy of this absence: untouched food, abandoned rifles, missing graves, and no tracks. The investigation also gathered witness accounts from the region, adding another layer of strangeness. Trapper Armand Laurent and his sons reported seeing a massive cylindrical craft pulsing with strange light, heading toward Lake Anjikuni. A Mountie miles away also reported unusual bluish-white lights moving unnaturally in the sky. These were experienced men, not prone to fantasy. Their corroborating accounts suggest that whatever happened may not have been earthly at all. Could the villagers have been taken? The idea seems like science fiction, but the evidence is bizarre. In a mystery with no clear answers, these stories are a tantalizing clue that points toward the sky. The whispers on the wind may be just that, stories, but they haunt the legend. The empty graves remain the most disturbing piece of the puzzle. For the Inuit, whose beliefs are deeply tied to respect for ancestors, this act is unthinkable. The stones were neatly stacked, not tossed aside, implying time and deliberation. It doesn't fit with a panicked flight or a violent attack. Was the event that caused the living to disappear somehow connected to the dead? Some speculate about forbidden rituals, others about an outside force, human or otherwise. The empty graves are a message we can't decipher, the dark heart of the Anjikuni mystery. This puzzle piece ensures the full picture will likely never be complete. With so little evidence, theories abound. The simplest: the villagers left to follow migrating caribou. But why leave rifles, food, and clothing? And what about the graves? Foul play? No signs of struggle, no bodies, no motive. Theories of extraterrestrial abduction have persisted for decades. An alien craft taking everyone, living and dead, is wild. But it fits the bizarre facts. Some point to Inuit legends of malevolent spirits or interdimensional doorways. Could the villagers have vanished into another realm, or fallen victim to a powerful entity? Every theory is a leap of faith, but the case defies conventional answers. The Anjikuni mystery is a perfect storm for speculation. It's a chilling thought, that the fabric of reality itself could have torn open on the shores of Lake Anjikuni. Nearly a century later, the mystery of Lake Anjikuni remains as deep and cold as the lake itself. The official files are closed, the tundra has reclaimed the site, and all that remains is the story. The silence that greeted LaBelle has never truly been broken. Every logical path leads to contradiction. Every mundane explanation is thwarted by high strangeness. The story forces us to confront the limits of our understanding. What truly happened? We may never know. The truth was swallowed by the vast, indifferent landscape. The wind seems to carry their secrets, but never speaks their names. The mystery endures, a reminder that not all questions have answers. The silence of Anjikuni is a void we can't help but stare into, wondering what might stare back.